Look straight at your problem. Now, and allow it to consume you. Because I embrace all of me that can't. I find myself awakening little by little as I experience everything that I can't be, can't do, can't have, can't love, can't bless. Everything that I can't have compassion for. Everything that I can't wish for their freedom, for their understanding, for their being a blessing to this world themselves. It'll be cool if I can ever do this dynamically, but I've been so imprisoned in the experience of myself that, this is how I'm doing it for now. Because it's what's working for me. It's how things are dissolving and unwinding and opening and expressing and freeing. You actually do have to confront your fears and experience them. Know that most of them will never happen. Save your fear for the moment that deserves it. Not in anticipation, but as your need to be super conscious, super fast. Let fear do that to you instead of disabling you, limiting you, blocking and damming in every direction. Feel it. Feel all of what it is to be you. And do that until it's impossible to be you anymore. Impossible to be the you that can never be true, can never be real, can never be understood and admired. I need to make a note to myself about something I have to do tomorrow.
Okay.
Let's see. I get clear when I do this. And I just forgot what I have to do.
Tomorrow?
Mm.
You're not typing anymore? Do you still typing?
Yes. Okay. The other reason why we take an hour is you have to take the time to go through the experiences that I'm describing.
To leave them.
So, how much more do you have to experience of yourself right now in order for you to wake up tomorrow and know that things are different in a much better way? So, whatever that answer is, just open and receive yourself. Mm-hmm. It'll be okay. Confront what demands you're confronting. Then confront the opposite of that, that which runs in fear and hides behind barriers. Confront that also. That being real and true for you means that you can't be real and true for yourself, as yourself. You have to own it all, light and dark, good and evil, right and wrong. Conscious and unconscious, heaven and hell. And as you do that, things clear up for you. The sadness awakens into the joy of a new morning and the end of your morning, into the light of day by the sun. That's you, the radiant one. The radiant one is your answer. Try it on for size. Doesn't fit, but on the other hand, it does. And putting the light of your own radiance on the wrong hand. Which one's the right one for your radiance? Is it the right or the left? Oh, it's that which connects them. It's that which lies between. The light of your radiance is that which holds you together. It's destructive and constructive at the same time. It's creation and destruction, light and dark, good and evil. But in the recognition of that lies the ability for you to move in complete freedom in such a way that you don't truly disturb the others. Disturb yourself, not the others. You can get plenty disturbed experiencing the you that you've created yourself as. So focus on that. Until the body actually lets you in and invites you to experience its movement into the freedom of itself. Feel your body make that choice to be free itself. And accept the invitation to share that, to be conscious of the body that's awakening, to be the body that's awakening, to be the consciousness that's awakening within the body. All of that's you. Is that a good spot to end on? Did you get what you needed? You just keep opening and doing it as long as it's necessary for yourself. You just keep sitting in that experience of yourself until the experience of that is the one that you needed. You'll find your freedom within yourself, within all of yourself. But you have to look at every part and experience and know it and own it as you. That which limits you, that which traumatizes you, is not what others do to you, it's what you do to yourself. So you can't push it away, because if you do, you're pushing yourself away and you're knocking yourself unconscious. So on that note, good luck. Keep it up. Go all the way. Be free. Be one. Be true to yourself. Be free with me too. Thanks. I do like to talk for about an hour for some reason, even though I could, keep it to 5 or 10 minutes. It's because we have to keep refocusing our awareness, our intention, our consciousness on the singular mission of everything that's causing us pain and unconsciousness until it doesn't. Focusing your entire attention there is a transformational, beautiful release. So continue to focus your attention on your experience of yourself. Noticing your willingness to experience it, it transforms and transcends, transmutes, dissolves into a flow of free expression. That's what frees you, and that's what frees me. The willingness to be freely expressed by the truth of ourself, as the truth of ourself, to continually open and expand until the end is at the beginning and the beginning is at the end. And we encompass everything in between as well. In that experience, I think you would find yourself free. Why not take a look at it with me? The completion and fulfillment and actualization of you. Everything that comes up that prevents you from being able to do that, to be that, and to have that is what you put your focus and attention on. I'm not trying to destroy it or anything, but just to experience it until it can't stand to be there the way that it is with you, and it frees itself into a lighter version of itself where it's no longer stuck, where the universe around you then transcends for itself in its own experience of itself. And then in that experience of sharing that with others, you'll have the experience of you that you've wished for yourself. The one that's whole and complete, real and true. It has a bunch of friends that's true for also. A friendship of the light of truth is the experience from one to another. That's what you're looking for. So if it's possible for you to share that of yourself with me, then I'll open as much as I can for that experience with you. And those talking voices that have an opinion about what you're doing and how you're doing it, hey, they're not doing it. You don't need any advice from them. Just look at that too and let that dissolve. All self-criticism disguised as other points of view. Experience that until you don't want to do that to yourself anymore. Experience yourself until you're done sabotaging yourself. It doesn't take a long time when you're focused on it. Okay, take a minute and tell me what you've been experiencing and seeing and understanding. Ready? How are things for you right now?
I feel very free. Yeah.
It's getting better and better, I hope.
Even more space.
More and more space.
Freedom.
Okay.
Possibilities.
Okay, but remember, the way that we get the new possibilities is focusing on the limitations of the present, experiencing them instead of running away from them, looking for somebody to save us. Our Savior is our willingness to experience our own damnation, our own inability, our own darkness, our own suffering, our own unconsciousness. And as we do that, we awaken. And that's not the wrong way to do it, it's the right way. If you believe in Christ, ask him, he'll tell you that's true. If you believe in Buddha, you already probably know that's true. Not that the Buddhas are better than Christians or that either one of them are better than any of the others, because look around, it's apparent that everybody has trapped themselves here. But is the end of times of that for you? Was your experience of yourself? Has that time come? Is that moment now? You have to look. It's not something you think about, it's something you experience. Experience it. Experience the truth of your own completion. Experience the light of your own understanding. Experience the bliss of your own love for yourself. It's a nice way to be. You just have to bear the unbearable in the moment right before you experience that. That's all. Bear the unbearable right now. Experience the impossible. Experience the unbearable truth of you. Don't hold anything back. Don't push anything away. Don't let anything about you go unnoticed. If you experience the worst part, guess what happens? The worst part of you goes away. The worst part of you becomes free to not be the worst part anymore. And there isn't a hierarchy and there isn't a waiting line or waiting list. You don't have to get permission. You don't have to be chosen. You only have to choose for yourself. Choose for your awareness and your freedom, your understanding. And then own it by looking at what's painful and unconscious until you do know it and understand it and freed it from being expressed within the experience of you as something that is a part of you, an unconscious part of you, an unaware part of you, an unable, a disabled, a damned section of the entirety of what it is to be you. And when you're a guy as blocked up as I am, the transitions seem nearly endless. It seems like continual pain and suffering, but it's releasing a truly tremendous amount of solidity, of consciousness that has gone unconscious into states of beingness and confusion that are not universally real, not eternally true. It's a momentary confusion. Look at it until that moment has passed. Feel those betrayals. Every betrayal that another did to you. Sit in them. Experience them all. Until they've completed their experience with you, completed their experiment of how long they could hold you down. Well, that experiment's over because you've stood up. You've opened up. And you're expanding into the wholeness and the fullness of you. Look straight at your problem. Now, and allow it to consume you. experience it without resistance. It's so difficult for me to do this. And yet so rewarding. Reward yourself by experiencing the truth of reality. First is the uncomfortable truth of your past and present. And as you stop resisting your past and stop resisting your present and stop trying to create your future without knowing exactly what you're doing. So just keep looking at your disabilities. That's your job. And experiencing them as yourself. Look and experience, look and experience, look and experience. Look and then experience what you've seen. That's how you move out of solidity. That's how you gain an understanding of reality as it is. That's how you change your life, and that's how you change the universe, and that's how you move into a manner of inspiring others to become a beautiful manifestation of their own eternal truth. So just experience your being not that. From the knowing that that is actually the eternal truth. But you're not that right now. It's okay. The more you experience the truth of the lie of you, the more the lie of you is result in the truth of its own experience. And how does that one feel to you? The truth of the lie of your own experience. As you experience that completely, the lie becomes the truth. And then the truth enlightens the lie. And things transmute and transcend. Know that experience of transcending is your own experience of self right now. Feel yourself opening and transcending. Allowing everything that isn't transcended to burn off in the light of truth. coming home again to your experience of yourself. And that experience being a wholesome one, holy one. The wholesome holiness of being you. Experience all of you that can't be that. It seems to be all of me that can't. But as you confront that fact that you can't do that, then paradoxically you are. As you confront your inability to be divine, to be enlightened, to be transcendent, to be universal, to be cosmic, as you confront your inability to do that and focus your attention on it completely, intimately, then it changes, doesn't it? From solidity to non-solidity. From damned to flowing. And from flowing into an awakened celebration of life. Allow that to flow. And allow that to awaken you into to take on, I know. I'm doing my best, the best that I can to confront it myself. There's a lot that you have to look at. And when you look at it, you know it and you understand it, then you have to take action. You have to move with that new knowing, with that new understanding. And that's going to be a different place for you, a different space, a different way to be here. And isn't that what you're looking for? A different way to be here? I think so. That's what I'm looking for. It seems like we've been through so much in such a short period of time. It's the first time I've experienced wanting to end something early. But maybe that's because we addressed it clearly enough this time that we don't have to say it so many different ways. So let's look at that until we know. There's no reason to hold yourself back from knowing. It doesn't benefit anyone that you know for you not to know. So open yourself to true knowing, true understanding. Experience what it is for that to be you. True knowing, true understanding as you. What does that do to your experience of yourself? It's hard to hold on to stuff when you look at it from there. You can't stay unconscious when you elect to go free. Freedom isn't in unconsciousness, it's in consciousness. And if you're swallowing a bitter pill, then get into it. Know what it is for you to be doing that. Know it so intimately that you know you'll never have to experience that again. At least not in repeating any mistakes. You know, you learn your lesson quickly. So you can open and flower and be yourself. Because that's what you really want. You want to be yourself here. You just want to be yourself. You don't want to pretend anymore. So in the pretense, the play has long been over. There's not a story left to tell. There's not a book or movie left to read or see. There's not an opinion to be expressed that is even necessary anymore. There's only one last thing for you to do, and that is, if you're religious, it's to know the divine within your experience of you as the truth of yourself. And if you're not religious, you owe it to yourself to know what the heights and breadths and depths of consciousness have been here for those who have been more able here than anyone else, more able to know and understand and experience. And align yourself with that frequency, with that vibration, with that consciousness, and experience it within your experience of yourself. Just, well, that's nice. Does that feel like me? Does that feel like that's me? The more you feel it, the more it does. And the more that it is. Because you're just only really interested in changing your experience of the animal self. You're already everything that you are. But you're not that as the experience of your humanity here. So is it possible for you to experience your own experience of being human here in a superhuman way, in a way that defies categorization or explanation by lesser minds? Can you be that which can't be known except by knowing it as yourself? And there's no need to blame anyone else anymore. It's a terrible thing to be damned, all stopped up here, all compartmentalized with walls and no doors or windows. Does that need to be that way anymore for you? I don't think so. What do you think? And if you need to think about it, stop that and just look at the experience and see if your body wants it or not. Look at the experience of being fulfilled, of being free, of being grace and wisdom and love, compassion. Have your body look at that experience for itself and let it make the decision as to whether it wants it or not. And if it does, don't stand in its way. It's the embodied consciousness that needs to awaken. It's who you keep telling yourself that's the truth of you and your experience here. And it is, because that's all you know. But also know your possibilities. And open into them in the truth of your temporary self. All your secrets, all your warts expressed and exposed. How do you change things so that they truly change for you? So that when you wake up in the morning, things are wonderfully different. I don't know. Let's take a look at that, see where this leads us. When we wake up tomorrow morning, things are wonderfully different. There's a big part of our unconsciousness that knows that's not possible. So we have to know ourselves as that unconsciousness. We have to experience that as our truth. We have to know it as that has been our actual experience of ourselves here. We have to admit that that's true. And feel what the consequences of that being our truth, what they are. There will come an end to your pain and suffering, and your first steps into your new beginning beyond that, where you begin to know your own peace. To be content as yourself. And then to begin to create in an ever more beautifully and expanding and multifaceted way everything about you surrender to the next transcendent step of your life. Each new quantum leap is what we surrender our experience of self to. We let that next step experience us as we are, until we are the next step. Take that step. Pay attention. Be aware. Focus your concentration on the truth of you. And your experience of that in your experience of your body. Are you going to be condemned by your more enlightened friends that see you shifting as your life changes for the better? Hey, if they don't see what's transforming you and experience it and celebrate it within their experience of themselves, then their opinion doesn't matter, does it? Only the opinion of those who celebrate the truth of you are allowed to influence you when you wake up enough to say, yeah, I want that peak experience of truth, of the truth of me that freed me. As you have the experience, it's actually real and true. So keep allowing yourself for that to be the experience of you until it's complete within you. It's a big one. It's a lot to confront. But as you continue to do so, you'll be walking the pathway to your own freedom, your own peak experience of living your ultimate truth, the completion of you, the beginning and the end, the life and the light of you and of the world. If that's true for one, it's true of you too. So know that truth. Experience that truth. Allow that truth. See that truth moving within you. And then live that truth as your experience of yourself, starting from right where you are. That's what shifts your uncomfortable existence. Allowing yourself to be transformed. Just because you can. And you can transform. Simply by surrendering to that experience, being the one that you're having. You just keep letting that happen. Oh, I'm the one that's transforming. I'm not borrowing somebody else's light. I'm not living somebody else's dream. I'm not operating in somebody else's purpose, or I'm allegiant to myself. When I experience that as the real reality of me, then it gets better for you. The best for me means better for you. The best of you means better for me. Nobody's suffering because of another. We inspire each other out of this. And as you look to be inspired by others, you will be. Be inspired by the world that you live in. Don't be so sad for the things being the way that they are. It's what we have to experience in our process of waking up now, is reality as it is. And we can't deny the reality being what it is and have any hope of changing it. We have to be the reality. We have to know what it is to live here as ourselves intimately. And as we focus on that, make that the core experience of our being, then you become more and more capable of maintaining a somewhat enlightened state of consciousness here. It becomes more and more real and true for you in every new moment. So long as you keep focusing on it, on the limitations that you feel as you're opening and expanding. It's just continual new and new and new and new limitations, and you embrace them all until they're resolved. So what can't you face within your experience of yourself? Let's face that together right now. Support each other in our departure, dissension, or descending into the unknown. Fear and terror of what we might find out about ourselves. We're afraid that we may no longer be able to pretend that we're good and that we're right and that we're the winner. Okay. Sandra,
Yes.
what is there left to talk about?
I was thinking I would like to learn how to open the possibilities that the universe has for me that I am not open to receive. Like if I have something blocking,
Okay.
yeah. So because I feel that my my person or my body or my spirit or whatever is blocking to closing the possibilities of all the universes.
Okay.
Okay.
I understand.
Okay.
Ready? So the blockage from whatever the universe could or would provide you is always a result of your self-image,
Yes.
who you're being here. So if you want to receive what the universe wishes to provide you, the first thing it wishes for you is to truly be yourself, to know yourself. Because if your life is far from optimal, then receiving something at that level where it takes care of one or more of your needs on a better way than it was before, I don't think that's asking for enough for you. I don't think having a deal or a transaction or something like that occur for you is all that you need and want. You have to truly want more than that for yourself. And the difficulty in doing that is how could that possibly ever be true? How could that ever happen? We don't know how to make that happen. But actually, we do. We make that happen by surrendering the level of consciousness that's habitual for us. We surrender that consciousness that we normally are, that beingness that we normally are, to a transcendent truth of self. And we allow that transcendent truth of yourself, the light of your embodiment of that, to burn off all of the confusions and barriers and limitations that you have for being expressed here magnificently and being present here, just awesomely. So let's have you unshackle you. By feeling those things that, are uncomfortable about ourselves. Then surrendering that experience to an enlightened, wise, graceful point of view, or presence, or actualization. We allow for those possibilities that you mentioned, those infinite possibilities. Allow yourself to experience what they are, to feel what it would be like to embrace each of them. So take a minute, close your eyes. And just drink it all in. All of those possibilities. Allow yourself to know what they are. Allow yourself to feel what they are. Allow yourself to know what it is to know yourself completely. On every level. In every way that you can compartmentalize yourself. You're allowing yourself as that. To be saved. To be found. To be awakened. To be reunited with your truth. With the truth that sets you here, that sets you free here. And that's the blessing. That's what the universe wants to give you here. The fullness of your own truth. The support for your own realization. The awakening into the end of what you have been. And its freedom as it moves from those limitations into a full free expression of yourself. a full, free expression of yourself. Isn't that what you want? And isn't that exactly what you need? To be here freely without limitations. To be able to confront your limitations and barriers and observe them until they can't maintain their form and structure. Nothing can stay the same if you look at it completely. So look at yourself completely in every way that's possible. Everything that you feel it as the truth that is setting the body free. The realization of your own infinite possibilities and the embodiment of them. Mm-hmm. Look at yourself until you're completely true. Nothing left hidden to yourself. There's no longer any good reasons to hide from yourself. From your own experience of everything that you are. And in that experience, when you experience it intimately enough, fully, deeply, that's what sets you free. It's to experience completion, nothing left out. So, feel what it is to experience completion with nothing left out. Everything is complete. Everything is resolved. Have to make a lot of shifts to bring that into being true, but that's why we're here. To make those shifts until we are actually true to ourselves. No longer hiding, no longer judging, no longer blaming, no longer placing unnecessary limitations of ourselves because we can't trust ourselves here. Trust yourself. Trust yourself enough to look at yourself completely. And by observing yourself completely, you complete yourself. You put an end to all imbalances. You balance all accounts. And then you find yourself free. Literally in every way that you hoped for and more. Better than you could have ever imagined. the freedom beyond pain, beyond suffering, beyond confusion, beyond unconsciousness, beyond your apathy. This place can destroy you. That can also save you. It can support you. And it can bring you into an experience of what it is to have an emergency. Look at yourself more deeply, more fully, more completely, so you don't have those surprise emergencies anymore. There's nothing else like the actual experience of you. How do you do it? Pay attention to your experience of yourself. When you do that, nothing that you are can stay suppressed. Everything about you begins to blossom. The glow. For you to connect with your own radiance and to let that flow, to let that shine, to let that be your experience of yourself. Try that. Be connected with radiance. You don't have to define it anymore. The knowing that it's there and connecting with it and allowing radiance to have its effect that it has on you. It's interesting what can happen to you when you absolutely focus on you, on that experience of being you. Because that's what holds everything else into all of the patterns. All of the patterns that life has for you. Are released by your looking at them clearly and experiencing them fully. No more saying you know when you don't know. When you don't know, you open up an experience. Then you do. When you don't know, you open up, pay attention, and have the experience. It clears up the confusion about what it is that you're unsure of. Look at yourself and see yourself as you are. When you do that, it's hard to pretend that things aren't different from how they are. You want to know exactly where they are. I mean, what everything is and why it is. Because when you do, it pulls you out of confusion and puts you on the pathway of moving exactly as you wish to. So keep looking within your experience of yourself. It's so easy to go unconscious when we do that. But you keep coming right back and do it again. And things get lighter and lighter and lighter as you do this. You keep looking until heaviness can't abide within you because you free it whatever makes it non-optimal. When you're here clearly and cleanly, reality optimizes for itself around you in a way that's great for you. It's where the universe gives you all the support you've ever wished for. So open to receiving that support. Open right now. The reason I'm not more of a salesman about this is that I'm having to go through the same experience that you are. And it requires me to focus on that and not so much on communicating this in the most effective manner that I could. The disillusion of my own lies. That's my first priority. To be able to see, know, and understand by looking and focusing my awareness, my concentration on whatever it is that I don't understand and that I haven't been willing to experience before. So open to that experience so you don't need to have it anymore. Open to the experience of everything until there's nothing that has to occur. It's a lot.